Okay, hello everybody, this is Sword SC2 here yet again with another StarCraft video. So, another fun game that I had is one that I played on the Korean ladder. So, you can note that by the Sword KR tag, and it's going to be against Nathanias. Nathanias is a Grandmaster Terran player, mostly plays Mech. I actually don't know what other playstyles he does beyond Mech. One thing that I didn't know going into this game is that Nathanias absolutely loves battle cruisers. I mean, he he uses them a lot. And because of it, I'm going to be changing my game plan quite a bit because of I know that. I remember that of this game. Not don't remember many other details of this game, but I remember that specifically. Going to have an SCV go across the map in order to do some scouting, which is it's pretty good. Looks like I went for a gas first, which is it was pretty standard. I actually don't know if it's as standard nowadays. I think players might be going for the barracks gas into double gas very quickly. I don't entirely know though. Nathanias is going to be scouting out towards his third base. Looks like he's just looking for proxies and also getting some minerals over here. I actually don't know what's up with the pathing. Yeah, it looks like it was just scouting information after all. And oh, that is so close. I get into his base, just going to be as annoying as I can with this SCV, force him to pull his SCV off of his factory, and I do get um, a decent scout and I get out. Do I? Yeah, I even see the double gas, which is great for me. I don't know if I saw the fact that he pulled off of the gas, and personally, I'm more of a favor of keeping like two in one refinery and one in the other to have a transition into starport a little bit easier. But he is going to be going for the um, single SCV in each refinery. I did hear a Reaper, and it looks like it is just going to be a very defensive Reaper, staying at home, just kind of protecting both of these ramps in case he does come in with like a scouting SCV, although as time passes, this Reaper being here is a little bit more and more dangerous. My SCV, which was at the third base, is now found by his two Reapers. So if he straight up just went across the map with these two Reapers, I would be in trouble. But luckily for me, he has not. The Hellion is going to be popping out here now. Marines are going to be popping out here as well. Probably going to be getting a tech lab on the factory in order to start a cyclone, which is pretty common. And it looks like I do start the tech lab up. Going to be getting my third refinery at my natural expansion here as well. So everything looks pretty standard. Nathanias is also going to be getting up his cyclone at the beginning of the game. And I think I might have even started getting the Magfield Accelerator this game in order to really commit to Cyclones because I thought he was going to be doing like a straight up BC rush. In my natural expansion, it does look like he has sent in his Reaper Hellion, so all these units are probably going to die, but he did get the Mule that was fairly fresh. And he got, how many workers did he kill? He killed 3. But again, he lost all of his units. So, a decent trade. He's going to be ahead in terms of economy for a little bit. He does have a 4 SCV lead, which is actually pretty significant at this point of the game. His orbital command is still not done though, so I do have a slight advantage in that regard. And, yeah, beyond that, everything looks like it is going okay. And yeah, I did get the Magfield Accelerator because I thought he was going to go into battle cruisers. Um, little did I know. I'm pretty sure he didn't, or not right away anyway. I actually don't remember if he did at all, but the Hellion is going to just be scouting out. Look, I'm pretty sure it went to the third base and it didn't see anything. I'm not entirely sure if it checked this third base, which In TvT, most of the time you want to go for a triangle-based setup just because siege tanks are pretty good. You know, you could siege up right here and then you can kind of defend your mineral line. And it makes it pretty annoying to do drops and stuff, which is one of the headaches of TvT. I'm going to be getting my third base up into my main base. I'm just going to be expanding fairly shortly here. Nathanias actually hasn't started his, so we are going to be getting into a pretty good economic situation here. And just continuing to pump out Marines. Starting up a siege tank actually after producing 3 cyclones. So he has a couple of cyclones and they do focus fire down one of my cyclones. And we scan each other. He has 3 cyclones. I'm down a cyclone now. But I do have 2 ravens, so that is going to be the main thing to look for. I disable one of his cyclones. Not entirely sure if that was the play there, but continuing to macro up. I pull a couple of SCVs. I'm actually surprised that I didn't just pull all of them, but I figured that I was in a fairly bad position. Him running up this ramp is pretty good for me, because all of his units are kind of clumped up. They're not all attacking at the same time. He's going to be stutter stepping in to focus down my one of my cyclones, but one of the cyclones survives, and with this auto turret, I believe I should be okay for the time being, especially with this siege tank coming in. He does get the scan off, and with the lock on one of my ravens, he was able to pick it off. Very nicely done by him. Going to be transitioning into additional barracks here, and I a little bit of indecision there, lifting up the factory and then immediately dropping it back down. Going to be continuing to produce some tanks here. And do I do a double tech lab thing here for the double upgrade marine stim pack with combat shields? Nope. Okay, I only make a single one and go for the reactor. Going to be going for the double engineering bay as well. I do have my last gas for my natural expansion, so going to be tagging up to +1/+1. Nathanias does now have his 3rd CC, but it is still morphing into an orbital command. Going to be transitioning into additional factories as well, so we are going to be seeing him playing Mech, going to be getting the reactor onto the star part, continuing or starting to produce some Vikings. And looks like it is going to be a classic game of good old Mech versus Bio. Or Biomech, because I am still producing tanks. So we'll see how I play this. Most of the time I favor just completely going for Bio. In these situations, just mass Marauders, mass Marines with a few medevacs, and just going all over the map, doing very aggressive stuff with a bunch of different drops. But yeah, we'll see how this goes. Have a couple of ravens, and it looks like I guess I made a 2nd or 3rd raven at this point, because I do remember losing one of them. And this is kind of an odd force because we have a lot of tanks, but we don't have a lot of marines. So the tanks are going to be fairly vulnerable if these marines go down. I guess I do have a couple of auto turrets to soak some damage. Nathanias is going to be already expanding to his 4th base, and actually that yeah, that's pretty in line with my 4th base as well. Going to be pushing it over here because I thought he would expand over here. But he instead is expanding towards the southern position. I'm going to be pushing in towards his natural expansion. He's going to be throwing down a couple of auto turrets. And I disabled a Raven and a siege tank. I actually don't know if that was the play, but this attack is going to be okay. We kill off the Vikings, kill off a tank or 2, and are going to be getting out of there. My macro isn't doing too badly here, and Nathanias is actually floating up to like 1.5k there. I guess he just doesn't have enough production, or more importantly, he just doesn't have enough gas to continuously produce units. And that is one of the weak points of Mech, is that is just so very gas heavy. He could throw down like a engineering bay and start throwing up. Oh no, he already has an engineering bay, and he does have a couple of turrets that is natural. Just a single turret in the main base. Looks like I tried to do a job and that didn't look like it did any damage. He's, These Marines, I actually don't know what these guys are doing as well. They're just giving their lives for the sake of giving their lives. It looks like it was possibly a bad rally or a misclick in terms of maybe using the all army hotkey. Do I see, okay, so I do scan, I see the 4th base now over there. Nathanias is going to be building a 5th base as well, and I don't actually believe that I've made a 5th base as of yet. So, things are going to be looking a little bit sketchy if I don't continuously expand here. Rain micro, non-existent. This Hellion is getting a lot of work done. Got a couple extra kills that I shouldn't, or didn't necessarily need to. And going to be doing a bit of a drop here. This drop is very, very, very tiny. Not even completely full up yet. And I think I just wanted to drop it behind the mineral line in order to be a little bit annoying. Stop as much mining as possible. And in the meantime, I'm going to be attacking up here. A couple of Vikings are going to be attacking one of the medevacs. One medevac for one Viking is an okay trade. I boost into the main base and there's a single Marine. He lives. The tanks have to be pulled back. I've denied mining from the natural, or this base sort of. I could have, or I really actually couldn't have prevented these from mining because there's a tank there. I thought I might have been able to for a second, but nice defense by Nathanias. Looks like a couple of mines are going to be tried to be spread out here, but good target firing by me was able to pick them off before they were able to burrow. And I'm going to just continuously put on more aggression. So this is a fairly non-threatening force, and I think I'm just trying to bludgeon him, which is not the. This is a not good attack. There's just straight up too many tanks here. And I scan, I see another tank here. I see I tried to do something cute, but there were just way too many tanks. Okay, so I split a single Marine forward to try and soak up this tank's fire and try and pick it off, but all of the Marines and Marauders just like sacrificed their life for absolutely no reason. In terms of SCVs, we have 78 to a 72. If I'm playing a more like suicidal style, I like having more SCVs. And I do expand to this base as well as this base over here. I'm keeping, like, my macro is actually pretty okay. I'm not too upset at it. I'm getting my +3/+3 as well here. So we're staying fairly well on top of our macro. It's just these decisions, like these attacks are just they're not good. They're not working. And, oh, I love the little window mines that he's placing out across the map. They're really annoying to deal with. I have to spend additional scans, and because I'm using scans to detect mines, those scans are not going towards mules for pumping out more of my bio units. They're not being used for scans to see where his army is. And I tried to do a little suicide thing where I carpet bomb on top of the tanks, but that didn't work. He had a couple of Vikings and a couple of turrets, and I think I might have tried to attack over here, but that didn't work. And he does have a bit of a Viking attack force here. He does scout it out, but that was kind of sacrificing units to me as well, so you know, both making some mistakes here and there, but one thing that I would like to see myself do is... Oh, did I actually scout that? I do scout that out. Good for me. So I scan, and I know that this base is coming up. So one thing that I would like to see myself do is possibly just like rally over here and send like a small attack force down here. In the meantime, I'm going to be trying to split up my units as best I can, and it does look like I was able to pick off the siege tanks and some widow mines, and with a siege tank here, this is going to be actually pretty hard for him to deal with. Although the medevac went down for kind of free, didn't need to die there. And I do see eventually send these units from here down to here, going to start attacking this command center, and now I'm starting to fall behind on my macro, floating up to like 1.5k minerals there. Continuing to produce more Marine Marauder into medevacs. I wouldn't be upset at myself if I got a second a second starport in order to produce 4 medevacs at a time at this point either. And these Widow Mines, they're just doing a great job picking off my units and doing a lot of AoE damage to my bio as well. So this Widow Mine has 10 kills, this Widow Mine has 1 kill. All these probably have 1 or 3, or this one has 3, this one had 1. They're really annoying to deal with, which is really good by Nathanias for playing like that. Siege Tank is going to be poking out one of my Marines, going to be throwing down another command center. Looks like I was able to pick this one off, which is good on me. And I'm continuing to expand, going to be throwing down a command center over here. Nathanias is getting close to his +3/+3 though, and that is going to be really hard for me to deal with because bio just doesn't trade very well against Mech. I do find a bit of a vulnerability there and was able to kill off the tanks that were defending this. Going to be trying to focus fire the SCVs that are repairing this. And this is not going to be the most efficient trade, but we do stop a base from mining, which is pretty important. In terms of units lost, we have lost a decent amount more, but in terms of army and just overall supply, we're fairly close. Again, because I have the higher workers supply, my army is a little bit weaker, or I just don't have as much army, I should say. So, a bit scary. Was able to pick off a siege tank right there, and I'm going to be picking off a couple of missile turrets. Non-micro for these units because I am going to be trying to focus down this area. Picking off a couple of more tanks, and with bio, that's always a great position. Looks like he's going to be repairing the siege tank, going to be able to pick off that that marauder attacking it. There are a lot of Vikings over here, and this amount of Vikings can very easily snipe a base just because when they're landed, they do additional damage to armored or mechanical, I believe, right? Yeah, and that is just way too much damage for me to repair through. And to counteract this, we are going to be sending an attack to pick off this forward base, and kind of regrouping over here. Only a single medvac though is pretty bad, so all these units are never going to be healed back to full, but as they're kind of suicide units, that's not necessarily terrible. We are going to be able to pick off all of the defenses over at this base, and we are going to be able to possibly kill off this base as well, so this is pretty good. We are slowly denying the mining by Nathanias, so definitely not a terrible position. Have a bunch of Marines and Marauders up in this corner of my base because it looks like he was trying to do a drop or a transformation type attack into my main base. But now because all of my units are up in my main base, this base is completely undefended. And looks like I have another attack down over here. Just possibly looking for more expansions that he could have thrown down. One thing that I would have liked to see myself do is expand down to this way while he was attacking up here. Going to be focusing down some of these Vikings, but not able to get all of them. I have a couple of Marines and Marauders up in my main base, which is good to defend against him just flying them back up into my main base. In the meantime, these mines have just been doing so much work throughout the game, man. Oh my god. Actually insane amount of damage. More mines just having some fireworks, killing off all of the bio. And because of these mines, like this attack is reduced to a single Marine and Marauder. I can't even attack over into this because it's planetary fortress. Mine gets burrowed and just cleans up this attack. Looks like he was able to kill off this base because I was just so focused on like doing all of these counterattacks and all this other stuff, but in the meantime, 3 BCs is going to be really hard for me, and I actually don't think I have anything to defend against this. In terms of units, I have 34 Marines, but since he has +3/+3, he has 6 armor, and Marines are not going to be able to do too much against that, and especially since I don't have the infrastructure to really make a hard swap to Vikings, I'm just going to decide to tap out there, which I don't think was necessary. Or I think I could have stayed in this game a little bit longer. If I more aggressively expanded down here and up here, I think I might have been able to pull it together. And I definitely had enough Marines in order to deal with just these 3 Vikings. If you continued to produce more BCs, it might have been a little bit tough, but I don't think we completely lost the game right there. But that was actually a lot more action-packed than I was expecting. There were a lot of multi-pronged attacks. There were a lot of questionable decisions as well. But the mines are they're good. They're really, really good. Um, and I probably should have been picking them off as I was going, but I don't think I really had enough scans to do so because I was scanning a lot in order to see positioning of tanks and stuff like that. So it was just really, really well played by him. It was a fun game. Hope you guys all enjoyed it, and I will see you guys in the next one.